I'm going to call to order a meeting of the advisory committee. It's Wednesday, March 29th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. We have a pretty light agenda, beginning with the review and vote on any remaining articles in the warrant, which I believe is just Article 3 related to the budget. Oh, you know what, Jenny? I think you need to enable screen sharing for me if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
And somebody chime in if I reviewed and it looked like our votes were recorded for all the other articles. So it really is just Article 3, right? Somebody will chime in if I'm wrong about that. Okay. So here we have Article 3 for the fiscal year 2024 operating budget. So the number that we see here, 29.1 million, that ties up to what you see here, total operating expenditures. So we're good on that. And then we've got 91,000 and change from ARPA, which is supporting the salary and wage changes. 75,000 from the ALS revolving fund, 115 from the overlay reserve account, 572,870 from free cash. And then this was what I was talking to Nanachka about. It says the sum of $28,301,715 and $40 to be raised by taxation. And I was just getting hung up on why it says taxation as opposed to.
So now I had a thought. So the total budget is the 29 million. All those other, I'm pointing at the computer like you can see it. All those other amounts are from different funds. So they're all coming into the general fund to support that 29 million. And so that 28.3 is taxation, it's local receipts, it's state aid, but that's all general fund money. So
Okay.
It's not all taxes, but I guess you could put to be raised. I mean, it's always said that. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, it definitely has always said that. And it just caught my eye that like the actual number didn't.
Right. That's not exactly what's going to be raised by taxes. And you couldn't really know what it is anyway, because we're estimating,
Yeah.
We don't know what our local receipts are. We don't know what our state aid is yet. So the actual amount that's going to be raised on the recap will be different no matter what we put there.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome.
All right, there's something in the chat.
Oh, that's just me. I'm noticing in D, the written amount has 800 rather than 500, and I will fix that.
Oh, great, thank you.
Mhm.
Why is there an F there?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like on C and D, you're missing the word to,
And
as in to be transferred.
C and D.
Yep.
Be transparent.
No, you could say, and to meet such appropriation. Oh, no, it does say to be up there. Yeah, let's add to be transferred. Is that
To
okay?
To
C and
be
D?
or not to be.
And to answer your question about F, is I mimicked last year's, but I can remove that if that's a mistake carried over from last year.
I would really go to legal counsel and ask that question, why it's like that.
I think it's an error.
I mean, to me, it looks like
Actually, I'm looking at all these old warrants. It's there all the time.
Really?
Yeah. See, this is.
Isn't that crazy that we never noticed that before? I think when you look at something so many times, I never even noticed it.
I'm usually so stunned by the number just in front of it that
Maybe that's why we just don't even look at the rest.
Actually, it seems like it's there sometimes and sometimes not. So I would agree, but we don't need to resolve that here. Jenny, if legal counsel says we need it, then leave it in. And if we don't need it, take it out.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, on E, would it be helpful to add and other sources by taxation and other sources for clarity?
I would, I guess I would again just defer to whatever legal counsel says we need there, like,
This
Is-
has been reviewed by legal counsel.
yeah,
The only thing that I added in since their review was the amounts, so that 800 was definitely a typo that I made in putting the numbers. But the language itself was reviewed by council.
but would it be possible for you to ask Jenny just to say,
Mhm.
listen, if that 28.3 million includes stuff that isn't strictly speaking taxation, but also includes like local receipts, do we need to change that, or is it fine to leave it the way it is?
I feel like we should change it. Just because people are looking at it and the town people who are reading it, it's gonna have a negative impact. They assume that there's no other source.
I agree with that, but at the same time, legal syntax doesn't always behave the way normal English thinks it should. So if we're going to change it, if this has been reviewed and we want to change it, we got to run, I think we have to run the changes by legal counsel.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to be clear on that last change, that's in E, you'd like it to say or by other means? What's the exact change to E?
And other sources, was that it?
Thank you. And other sources. Okay, I'll write to Brian this evening, so hopefully I'll have an answer first thing tomorrow, so it'll be ready for select board tomorrow evening.
Okay, any other questions before somebody makes a motion to approve Article 3? No? Okay, so is there a motion to approve Article 3?
I move we approve Article 3.
I second that.
Okay, I'll do a roll call. Bill,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Omid,
Aye.
and I'm a yes as well. Okay. Next up on our agenda, we are going to review and finalize the advisory committee statement. I know that there's that one little typo that I'm going to need to correct on some of the column headings. But did anybody have any substantive edits to discuss or recommend tonight?
May I ask a question?
Yeah,
Why are you? Maybe this is the typo you were talking about. Why are you saying percent change from 22?
yeah, it should say 23.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Just to note, this is the way that I handled the discussion we had about the stabilization fund. So we show that we would be below target if we approve Article 11, and then we just mention we are developing a plan to replenish the stabilization fund to at least 3% of the operating budget within the next 2 fiscal years. So that was the real only big change since last week. If nobody else has any comments or edits, that's totally fine. We just need a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call. Bill,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Omid,
Aye.
and I'm also a yes. I told you guys this was going to be a quick meeting. We have a reserve fund transfer request, which I will share, and I'm going to ask Jenny Jacobson to just explain the background. So hold on one second. Okay, Jenny, go ahead.
Okay, so it's kind of complicated and yet not. So postage is up 8.3% since 2018. So if you remember, we asked for an increased amount to our postage line of 5,000 up from 4,000 historically. And for the past few years, we've gone way above that 4,000. We had spent 4,500 in FY 22. 6,800 in FY 21. I think I had one more year, but I'm not finding it right now. Oh, and $4,991.61 in FY 23. The reason we haven't run out of money up to this point is because the state reimbursed the town clerk's office $4,000, which got added to that budget and has helped us kind of trip along. But we're down to just a couple $100 at this point, and we have to make it to the end of the fiscal year. So that $480 is actually, it's actually related to another change, which the town clerk's office used to have residents send in a self-addressed stamped envelope, and they would send their dog tags out in that. But they've adopted a new efficiency where residents can pay for that dog tag license through Viewpoint, and they can pay for the postage there. And then the postage is done through the postage meter. However, that income can't go directly to the postage line. It has to go to the general fund. So it's thrown us a little off kilter for this year. But that's where we came up with the 480. And we're thinking if we can have a transfer in that amount, which, I mean, somehow offsets, right, Ninotchka, at some level somehow, that will get us through to the end of the year. And of course, we have the increase of 5,000 for next year. So we should be back on track.
Thank you for the explanation. It is
Mhm.
complicated for such a small amount, but
Yeah.
you made it very clear. I mean, it makes sense. I think we ought to do it. So I'd entertain a motion to approve this transfer request.
I move we approve this transfer.
I second that.
Okay, roll call. Bill,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Omid,
Aye.
and I'm a yes as well.
Thank you very much. We'll be able to keep sending out letters.
We can mail checks out next week. Yay.
Okay, great. And then before we wrap up, I just wanted to note, I think right now on the town calendar, it looks like we're meeting on the 4th, but we're not going to be meeting on the 4th. We're going to meet on the 11th. And that's when we'll review the slides and everything for annual town meeting. And then we will have a meeting on, well, what Doug told me, what Doug Story, our town moderator, said is that he's going to reserve Monday evening, April 24th, as a potential budget and warrant information session. So you should reserve that in your calendars as well. I just don't know any more details about where it will be or anything like that. But what we'll do is for the meeting on the 11th, we'll also approve any remaining minutes from this budget cycle, so that basically they're all done, posted before annual town meeting. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ninotchka, speak now or forever hold your peace. We've done everything we needed to, right?
I think we've done the best that we can do. We've done a great job.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Good
All right,
night.
thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks, Bob. Bye, Jenny. Bye, Ninotchka.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.